finally, the NFL is getting this idiot and his wife out of the facilities. This man has ruined so many people's lives, okay? And I don't care if he's a billionaire. I don't care how much he sells the Washington Commanders. He's probably going to make $6 to $7 billion. He doesn't even know how to pay off his debts, all right? This man has been robbing people for years. A billionaire robbing people for years. And he tried to, by putting the team into his wife's name, he thought he could protect the rights of keeping the team and keeping the team in the family. That didn't work. NFL owners didn't want him and his wife involved in obviously the organization as a whole. And now finally the ownership sat around and said, listen, we need to get this guy out of here. And now they finally cleared him out of the facility. This is a great story. And we're going to hear a lot more in depth with Daniel Snyder and Tanya Snyder when they decide to sell the team and they finally find an owner, if it's Bezos or whoever it is. But this should have happened a long time ago. This has been going on for 2-3 years. He should have been thrown out of the facility for the last 2 years. And the fact that the NFL kept him there, shame on Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell's been sitting around letting this man sit here. He's absolutely attacked cheerleaders, sexually harassed different people, workers in the community, okay, of the Commanders. It is just absolutely despicable. Despicable that this man has had ownership of this NFL team. We've seen this happen in the NBA. It never worked. We've seen this when racist terms or racist attacks and sexual harassment attacks in the NBA has happened over the years. What happens? The NBA forced these guys to sell the team. Why is this taking forever to accomplish?
Yeah, and it's because of Roger Goodell's ego of wanting to keep one of the richer owners in there. I mean, obviously it's not as big as what he bought it at the time in 1999, but what he's going to sell it for is going to be a lot, and the NFL should want that kind of thing to happen. No, instead they want this guy that's been all kinds of corrupt financial stuff, gross, like you said, like sexual harassment stuff with the cheerleaders, with many different workers, reporters there.
In the community.
Yeah, and it's just really sad. And you look at a case, too, where now he's skimming money from all these season ticket holders, and they can't even put together a good field and good seating. Railing almost fall on Jalen Hurts. Like, everything around it is just really, really bad for them, and it's getting worse and worse by the second.
Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, last year, the Jalen Hurts, after the Eagles beat the Commanders on the road, literally had a railing of FedEx Field almost fall on his head.
I remember that.
One of the fans was trying to get out of the stadium, and it almost landed on his head, and I think he had his helmet off.
Well, obviously, the Washington football team, or whatever, the Commanders, or whatever you want to call them now, the organization wanted to keep the stadium and rebuild to the stadium because they love that stadium. It's a defined stadium of the state and the city of Washington. So they want to keep that there, but I think they need to rebuild or either fix that place up, where you put at least $1 billion into fixing the place, or build another stadium, because it's dangerous for the players, it's dangerous for the fans to go in there and worry about hurting themselves, where there's going to be insurance policies and insurance, being sued by tons and tons of fans, not only fans, but teams and maybe players from other teams. So I don't know if Jalen Hurts is suing them, but I would.
Yeah, he should at that point, because you're right. He has the money to do it. Like, there's no reason. All right, you want to keep the natural grass field, fine, but there's no rereason they can't renovate
City
the rest
of Washington,
of it.
by the way. City of Washington.
There's no reason for them to be able to renovate everything else. The seats, the facilities, the food, the bathrooms, everything like that that's bad. Like, everything about that's like just old and toxic about that place. There's no reason Dan Snyder, who has $1 billion, can't renovate that. No, he's just funneling the funds for himself.
I would like to give the team to Bezos. I think that would make a lot of sense. The richest man in the world gets if there's anybody that can fix this organization up and invest the money into this organization. Now, I don't know how it works with the Amazon deal with the NFL. I don't think he owns. I don't know if he's the CEO or CFO of the Amazon anymore. He sold it, but nevertheless, I don't know how it works. But Jeff Bezos is a guy that wants to own his team. He's from Washington, and he owns a lot of stuff in Washington. So I would love to see Jeff Bezos be the owner and take over this team and this organization.